We are live there. Let me get the stream going here on Instagram. There we go. All right. Hey, everybody. This is Erich Mische, CEO of SAVE, Suicide Awareness Voices of Education. And I am thrilled to be here tonight talking with a group of folks who we're going to share a little bit about an event that they've got, that they've put together here for the last couple, 2 or 3 years that you're going to be able to participate in and learn more about. Before we do that, I just want to remind folks that SAVE is a Minnesota-based national suicide prevention organization that focuses on suicide prevention through education and training, advocacy, support for suicide loss survivors, and lethal means safety. As we have these conversations here tonight, I just want to remind you that if you find yourself in crises, you find yourself struggling, you need help, or there's somebody that you know that needs help, don't hesitate to call, text, or chat 988. It's a free 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365 days a year, free, confidential resource for folks. The people on the other end of that connection are folks that are trained to help you, to be a part of your life, and to help you and support you in whatever way they can. So Ashley just jumped on here and said, "Hey, that's my husband." I'm not sure who she's referring to, but I'm assuming somebody does. So with that, I want to go ahead, get started, and have our guests introduce themselves and share a little bit about themselves and how they got involved with this effort and this initiative. And so, Hipster, we're going to start with you.
Sure. I'm Hipster Stole My Beer. I stream on Twitch as well. It's about the only place I have content, but I found out about this actually through, you know him as Chris, but Too Slow, Too Serious. I helped him out last year moderating his Stream to End Suicide, and I'm going to be participating this year as well.
And you have a slight accent.
Slight.
What part of the world again, Hipster?
I'm from Georgia.
Georgia, outstanding. You, as I said, nobody can tell that I have a Minnesota accent here. And so, Galaxy, a little bit about yourself.
Yes, hello. I am Galaxy Gamer. I have been a viewer of Too Slow's channel for about 2 years now, and a moderator for almost a year. I found Too Slow's channel through various gaming channels, and I just clicked with his vibe, and this suicide help. Sorry, I'm not good with speaking.
You're doing great.
This suicide help stream kind of spoke to me because I've experienced people suffering from family members being lost. So I feel like this is a very close topic for me, and I felt like I wanted to help in any way possible.
Fabulous. Well, thanks, Galaxy. You did great. Thank you for being a part of this conversation tonight. Mm-hmm. And so, Too Slow, Too Serious. Talk about first who you are, and then let's talk about how this event, Stream to End Suicide, got started and why this particular subject matter was important enough for you to get it started.
Oh, hi. So my name is Too Slow, Too Serious. I have streamed on Twitch for roughly, it's coming up on 3 years now. I've kind of find myself in this event. Now, my content basically surrounds around community games. We play a lot of community games like Jackbox, or we play Mario Party or Mario Kart, or anything that can involve a community like this. And our sort of mission on the stream itself is to create and foster a community that people can just come and enjoy and talk, as well as, enjoy a game or two, and enjoy it. But I think it's more so about the sense of community we have, which is also important as well. So,
Well, great. So, Chris, before we have you go any further, we've just been joined by Psychic Buckeye.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, my camera did not like Google Chrome. I had to switch browsers.
Well, you are here with us. So, Psychic Buckeye, we're just having everybody just introduce themselves and share a little bit about how they got involved in Too Slow, Too Serious's world here.
So my name's Psychic Buckeye 12. Holly's, I can call myself, you call me Holly. I'm a crocheter. I got into Twitch actually with the Jackbox games through my husband. He's a big gamer. And I kind of just got involved through all the other Twitch communities and just getting to know everybody. And yeah, so I've just been a big supporter of Too Slow Stream for the last couple of years. Big thing was COVID, that being stuck at home. So
I have to note that Psychic is currently wearing one of our marathon shirts at the moment. I noticed that too. So
very cool.
I thought it was fitting. So
very cool. Well,
I had to point out there's actually a typo on the shirt too. That I got one of the first shirts and there was a typo. So it's a big grammar thing here. I'm an English major too. I have a master's in education. So yes, it's a big suicide is a big personal thing for me too, as a teacher and mental health supporter. So my husband's actually autistic too. So he has a few times where he gets through the anxiety and depression, and I've lost a lot of friends too. So this is a big thing for me.
Well, we are glad to have you with us and a part of this conversation. And so, Chris, the idea of Stream to End Suicide originated where?
So, I mean, obviously the cause is something that's very important and close to my heart. I've not personally dealt with this myself, but I have dealt with the after effects of feeling from whatever people have unfortunately been through on this. It's something that kind of sticks with you for a very long time. It's something you don't get out of your mind so easily. And when I sort of got this idea of doing this stream, and one of the things that I was always a big thing about is like, if I could, make some sort of impact in this sort of field of some sort, I would do everything in my power to do so. And when I started streaming, and I was like, I want to do something, because I want to do something big for my stream anniversary every year. Like I want to do something because my streamer anniversary is in April, and I was like, I want to do something huge, something big, something impactful. And I was like, I could do just a marathon stream and just like, raise myself some good cash and do some stuff myself. But I think that is something that I kind of settled on something that was a little bit. I was like, I have this platform. I have this way I can do this, and I can sort of make a bigger impact than that. And so that was what happened 3 years ago, is that I decided, hey, I'm going to stream for 24 hours and we'll see if we can raise, at that time, it was $1,000 goal. Right. And then we got blown past that. And, and then it became the next year where it was like, okay, let's double it. 48 hours, double the goal. And then we blew through that. And so now here we are on this third year. And I was like, we're blowing by these goals so easily, and we're going crazy. Let's make it wilder. This year we're going to try to do 96 hours. So that's kind of where the idea originated, though. It's more so of a, hey, let's try to make an impact. We've got a platform. We've got a way to get our voice out in here. So let's try it.
Yep.
So,
well, and I appreciate that. And I will tell you, so I've been in this role, it'll be 2 years in August. And when I came in, one of the first conversations I had was with two individuals who had started an event, it's now 5 years ago, called Save and Raid, which is a online streaming event that doesn't go for as many hours as your event. And, one of the interesting things that I've learned is, this community of streamers, right? That this is a real community of people who are connected from really all over the world. And all of whom have some connection in some way with kind of their own personal experience that they may have, with, whether it's suicide or mental health or some other, other kind of human condition that they may be dealing with. And so, as you think about this event and you think about past events and people who've been involved, who got involved with this event that you put together, talk to me, and anybody can jump in here, but talk to me about what your experience has been. What are some of the reasons people kind of come to this stream to end suicide and participate in the way that they do? What's been some of the feedback that you've gotten from that community that you're all a part of?
Well, I can definitely attest to that. And I think you, Eric, know this probably more than anything. This isn't talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. And it's something that is, it's frustrating in some cases, because it's like, why don't we start these conversations like this? And there's various, erase, thoughts on that and what that conversation goes. But I felt like, especially in the past events, we've kind of come to sort of realize, I think especially me, for me personally, it's kind of made me sort of realize how much this sort of cause is far reaching. It's something that really touches a lot of people, which is crazy to think that something doesn't talk about so much, and yet it's so deeply understood at the same case. So it's the biggest takeaway for me on those events has just been, yeah, sure, we had a fun time, we enjoyed it, we raised a lot of money, that's great. But I think the key part too is that I think we also bring it to the forefront in this case, because I'll tell you, so many bigger streamers came up to me, some of you in this circle from our side this year know Tipsy Tune, and it's like, I am so happy you were talking about this. I am so happy you were talking about this, because it's not talked about enough. And I take that to heart. And that's the driving mission to it. So that's for me what my takeaway is. So
yeah, absolutely 100% agree with that. It's definitely not talked about, and there's definitely not enough services available to the public out there as well. I grew up in a small town, and we have one mental health facility to deal with all that kind of stuff for the entire county, and there is usually a 2 to 3 month waiting list, maybe even longer, just to get in to see a counselor. My husband was going there for a very long time, and he'd stopped going for a while because he felt like he wasn't getting the help. And I'd finally get him to go back in, and he'd have to wait another 6 months just to be able to talk to someone. And doing a crisis line is just not enough to get someone help, and you try to get out there and help someone, say, hey, I know you're struggling, I'm here for you, but it's not enough. And we need to do more than just try to say, oh, you put you on this medication or put you on this medication. It needs to be talked about and raised more awareness to say, hey, there's people out there. They even have put a thing at the end of my parents' street here in town for people who are going through mental and drug abuse. There's a shelter at the end of the street. They converted a house that belonged to an old neighbor of ours. And there's just so much going on, but they at least have a safe place. And there definitely was not enough of that around here 20 years ago in a small town in Ohio. The closest place you would go is probably 2 hours away, if anything. So yes, I definitely agree with that. It's definitely not talked about, and there's not enough support out there for it.
Yeah, I definitely think having the community aspect is a huge part as well, because it creates an environment where everyone feels welcome and they can actually discuss this. And we've got this community going that just everyone feels like they're welcome. I feel like that really helps a lot of folks out.
Yeah, and I mean, I know Eric and excuse me, Galax and Hipsters can attest to this. We do our Discord community hangouts on Friday, and they know the first thing I asked when we start these kickoffs, how you doing? Like, how are you doing? And I'm not asking that because I just want to know. I genuinely want to see it, like, what is going on? Is there something going on in your life that you know
Right.
going on with that? So I genuinely care about these people. I genuinely care about them, and I want this. I want to, so that the community itself is not something that we're not saying community just because it's a buzzword or it's
Right.
anything like that. That is
Yep.
literally what we're about.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
one of the things that Chris, when you and I chatted, so I'm hoping that I can participate in some way during the stream itself and come on and maybe talk about the work that SAVE does and have these conversations. And
absolutely.
one of the things that we're going to provide during this event, we have a 40-minute online training called One Step Ahead. And I'll chat with Chris about this more before the event comes up. But this is an opportunity to share this out really to your community. It's a free 40-minute training that we call it a gatekeeper training, which helps to provide kind of how do you go have a conversation with somebody about suicide, right? The challenge that most of us have is that how do you enter that conversation with somebody? How do you say to somebody, hey, are you thinking about hurting yourself? Have you thought about suicide?
Yeah. Yes.
And then if they tell you that they're having that thought, what do you do with that information, right? And so this training is really an easy way for anybody, right? You don't have to be a doctor. You don't need to be a therapist to be able to learn how to have that conversation with somebody. And that's really one of the important parts of the message that we try to convey through our work, which is, the key thing about suicide prevention is being willing to talk about it, right? Is the key way to deal with the stigma associated with suicide
Right.
is to talk about it. It's not to hide it. It's not to kind of continue to label it with shame and anxiety, right? So even as we think about your event coming up in April, right? It's giving people that opportunity to safely talk about suicide, right?
Yes.
Things that we always want to avoid when we have conversations about suicide.
Yeah.
We want to avoid talking about means. We want to avoid talking about methods. And
Right.
one of the things that becomes really personal for folks is the wanting to be able to share their own life experience with that, right? And that's
Yes.
really important to be able to do it, but it's important to also do it really safely and to do it in a way that stresses to people that there's an opportunity here for hope and healing,
Right.
and that there are resources out there. And so coming back to this notion of community within this online community and this streaming community, I share with people that, when I was a kid, my dad was a ham radio guy, right? And he
Right.
sat downstairs for hours and sat on his ham radio, and he had a Morse code, and he was doing what we call DIT-DA, right? The Morse code.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
And that's how and so that's how he communicated across the world. Folks that do streaming today, it is my dad's version of the ham radio, right? That's how you connect and talk to people.
Yep.
So when you're dealing with some of these challenges that whether they're mental health related, suicide related, loneliness issues, how important are these connections in your life, and how important have you found them to be in other people's lives?
So for myself, I have always valued connections more than a lot of things, because having someone or some group that you can you can feel safe with and comfortable with and be able to do life with is super important. It's something that was instilled in me very young. It was something that my parents have always said is like, you need to find somebody like-minded like you who you need to be around and can, hang out with, talk, play games or chill or, be able to come to and all that. Connections like that are super valuable. And it's something, it's, when we're doing streaming and we have 60 pairs of eyeballs looking at a stream, it's a little difficult in some cases to sort of have to make that connection like that. But in the same sense, it's kind of remarkable to me how, even though it feels like such a lot of people in one place, it still feels small and it still feels connection in that case. And I hope, and I'm not going to sit here and say that the stream here that I do on my side is always going to be feeling that way, because I'm not convoluted like that. But I will say I try to make it that way, and I hope it comes across that I'm being genuine with that. So,
any other thoughts, folks?
Well, I've gone through a lot of grief in my life, all kinds of loss, even up to suicide. And at one point in my life, I felt alone and had thoughts at the time that I wanted to take my life. I was bullied in high school. Also, for my brother is also autistic and was bullied as well. And kids made death threats to him, and he ended up almost taking his life, jumping out a window. Thankfully, his friends saw him and pulled him back in. And so that's something I'm always forever grateful to them for saving my only brother's life. But there were times where I just felt like I was in this hole, and this community brought me out of that hole, especially during COVID when we were all isolated and locked down. And I was still going to work as an essential worker, working at a gas station. I was still actually attempting to get my degrees, so I hadn't even started teaching yet. And then going to teach, I saw my students, I substituted a lot of them. So many of them struggled with being bullied or problems going on at home. And, it's like, I'm just gonna, I'm here to talk. I've been there. I've gone down that hole, So it's like they say in West Wing, friend falls down the hole, I'm gonna go with you. I know how the way out, That's my mantra, to try to help people, is like, I've been there, I know the way out. So yeah. Like I said, been through a lot of grief in my life, so it's very, very, very touching to hear that others are felt the same way too.
So I want to come back to something, Chris, that you mentioned. You said you do a Discord. What is that you said that you do?
We do like a late night Discord hangout on after stream on Friday.
So talk a little bit about what that is, and so that for folks who aren't, not everybody who's watching this may be familiar, one, with Discord or what a Discord hangout is.
Right.
What is that?
So Discord is another social media platform. It's we have our own like Discord server that we run, and we basically, I use it to spread information about my stream, or we just chat, or we share memes, or we talk about this and that. It's a way to keep the community sort of together in the ways that when the times when we're offline. But in the Discord hangouts on Friday nights, it's basically a voice chat that I open to anybody who wants to join. We basically after stream just go there and everybody comes in, we hang out for a bit, and of course I ask them first like how life's going, what's going on, and anything that we need to be thinking about or anything like that. We'll talk about that then, and then we'll kick off some sort of other game on the side. We'll just play some game and just hang out and chill and enjoy some late night bantering about whatever we want. So it's a way to sort of like, because again, talking about versus stream and versus that, it kind of helps keep that community more tight knit in that case, to making sure that, everyone feels like they're a welcome part of it. And anybody who obviously wants to be a big part of it is a big part of it in that way. And they can jump in and enjoy some time. And then also, if they feel like they're welcome to, they can have a conversation as well.
So, Galaxy Gamer, thanks for sharing your thoughts in the comments section. Again, in the communication that I have with a lot of folks that are part of these online communities and streaming community, what you shared resonates with a lot of them, resonates with the conversations that I have, that the opportunity to be in a safe and supportive and authentic community where people care about you is incredibly important. And while it may not be I got to remember what the acronym IRL, right? While it may not be IRL, right? It's real life in terms of its meaning and its impact. So
that's for sure.
So thank you for sharing that. So I want to talk a little bit about the event. So let's talk about the event. So Chris, when does it start? Where do people find it? What can they expect if they've never been a part of something like this? How can they get involved? Whole thing. Let's start with that.
Let's talk about the basic details. Yeah. So we're going to be kicking off things on April 9th. And we are slated to go through April 12th. If we reach certain goals, we could go an extra day on that side. So it'll be at least a 96-hour stream, at least. But we are the whole side of it is basically we will be raising money for SAVE basically throughout the whole month of April, even outside of the main event on this side. So the donation link will be active throughout that whole time. And we're going to share it like that. So the whole event is going to be 96 hours of just me. We'll be playing some various community games and various fun stuff to play around with. And hopefully it's somewhat entertaining, but we will also have set aside time as well to have some conversations about the event as well as this amazing cause as well. I know several people have reached out to me personally and asked if they could share a testimony about their path with it, and I welcome that. We'll have some time set aside for that as well, and of course, Eric, you're more than welcome to join us as well for a conversation as well.
I'm planning on it. You and I'll just have to kind of figure out when the best time for that conversation to take place is.
Absolutely.
And we may have some other folks that we've been involved with Save and Raid and others who may want to come on and kind of chat about their own kind of journey and experience here, if that's something that you're open to as well. So
Absolutely.
For somebody who's not familiar with this, right? So if they want to follow this, they've got to go to Twitch TV. Is that right?
Yeah. So twitch.tv/2slow2serious TV is where the event will be held. And that's my regular Twitch thing, is we do regular streams, usually Monday through Friday, although we won't be streaming until the week of that week. Just FYI, I'm traveling a bit, but we'll be streaming that week, and I'm just as a catch, just to make sure you follow as well, because you'll get notifications when we go live on that case. So but yeah, I want to share part of the event. Like we're doing a bunch of things, but one of the big pieces that I'm really excited about this event is we're doing a Traders recreation. So if you're familiar with the NBC Peacock show, The Traders, it's a reality show that airs on the site. We're going to be basically making a Twitch version of that. I've got several wonderful streamers who have agreed to join and play along with us. And that's so that'll be happening Saturday afternoon. but I am really looking forward to making that happen because I'm a big fan of the show myself, and it's the first time it's kind of a big event within the big event. Yeah, I'm very, very excited about this event. It like 96 hours seems like a long time, and I as Psychic's shirt can attest to, I've done 128 before, so this kind of seems like a breeze in the wind, right? But I'm really excited about it.
So so for those of us so anybody can set up a Twitch account, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's free to set up a Twitch account.
Yes.
They set it up, and then they go to they search for you at Too Slow, Too Serious TV, and they can click it on. So on April 9th, this starts at what time?
This will be starting at 7 p.m. that night, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Eastern time.
And we'll be kicking things off with very simple Jackbox community games, and anybody can join us. You can join in our queue, and you can play along with us and enjoy some time together, enjoy some time while we're also raising money for an incredible cause. So.
Okay. And then, so the way that people, again, I want to try to kind of make this less serious for
this whole thing of this whole streaming thing. What is this all about, right?
No. So if I come onto the stream, do I just watch? Can I talk? How do I play? Do I have to have a special skill? Will somebody help me learn how to do this?
Mm-mm.
Oh no. So you can, as much as these people can attest to, I am not a gamer. I do not play well in games, but I enjoy them nonetheless. But
we love torturing him.
Oh, you've got to pick on him, man. It adds to the fun.
It does.
It's all lighthearted, of course. But,
Of course, yeah. But yeah, you can do whatever you can join in. You can lurk. You can just chill out and watch it. You can join in our chat room and feel free to have a conversation. We have various little fun commands that you can run in the chat that you can play off sound effects or do stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. We're a very enjoyable community like that. And if you want to play and join our games and play along with us, we try to be as accessible with it as possible. So feel free to join in and play along. And again, if you don't feel like playing, that's fine. We're very, very casual community like that. If you want to chill and play, chill. If you want to chill, fine. If you want to hang, I don't care. You do it. We're all going to be enjoying some life together and having a great time.
So Galaxy Gamer says, quote, I often pin a message during some games that says, quote, disclaimer, Too Slow is not good at video games.
Yeah, especially in these, we do some visual novel voice acting stuff on Saturday occasionally. And those are the games that I suddenly realize that I have no skill. I'm great at certain things. This is not something I'm great at.
Well, your wife is proud of you, so so there you go.
At least she's proud of me. That's at least something.
She's proud of you. So for those of you who have played in this stream before, what is it about it that you look forward to the most? Whether you followed this for a year or two, or you haven't done it before, what is it you look forward to the most about it?
The company, definitely. Like just being able to like hang out and chill with people that are into the same things as you. You know, if you have, like me, I have a busy work schedule. So when I want to come home, I don't really have a chance to go out, hang out with friends. We're all scattered across the globe here now, so where I live. So, it's nice to come home and hang out and be able to talk to the people who like the same things I do and not have to go out sometimes, especially with gas prices these days.
Oh, yeah. For me, it's definitely it's a very laid back community where I can just kind of kick back and just have a good time with it. Like there's no pressure to be any sort of way. You just kind of be yourself, hang out and have a good time with it, really.
Yeah. To be honest, I am a natural born entertainer. So the opportunity to entertain through Too Slow stream as well as be entertained by his comedy in a scenario that as almost no holds barred is amazing.
Yeah, I can definitely say to some of these groups for sure. You guys provide a lot of entertainment to go with it too. So it's just as entertaining for me as it is for you guys, hopefully. So
Well, Galaxy, I think you were a ringer there as being the born entertainer. So I think you.
yeah.
So, there
I
you
don't know.
go.
There's debate for that. I was
There you
almost an
go.
actress, so
There you go. So the amount of time that you do this, right?
Mhm.
So it takes a lot of effort, right? It takes a lot of time, right? You got to plan for this, right?
Yeah.
So, if other folks want to get involved and help, and I don't know what else they could do, are there other things that other folks that may be watching this go, boy, I'd like to get involved in this some way. I'd like to help in some way, whether it's, helping Chris set this up. Is there something that somebody can be doing, maybe helping share this out with their network? What's some things that you would ask people who are watching this to do to help support this effort? Obviously, people can give money. That's great. But what else can they be doing?
I always am a big advocate for spreading the word. So spreading the word about this event is probably one of the more impactful things we do. I will say in these events, I do this, and I also do another marathon stream in the middle of July from on my side. But I will say this event more than anything brings in so many new faces and so many new people that have never visited the stream before or have never entertained and never been to Twitch before or just coming in to see what it's about. So we get more unique viewers on these streams than we do any other event we do through the year. So it's spreading the word is the biggest thing we can do. Not just about just this event, but I mean, again, the whole purpose of the event is to spread awareness about this cause. But I will say also, if you have any sort of a way you feel like you can help it, or you got some idea to make this bigger or anything, my DMs are very open on Discord. I'm easily accessible. If you need to private message me somewhere like on Twitch, or come in my chat room on my streams and be like, hey, I've got something for you. If you want to talk on the side, I'll be glad to talk to you on it. I've had in the past several wonderful streamers who have even like donated their artists for like a certain amount, saying like, if you donate like $50 or more, I'll send you free art, or something like that for you. So it's definitely something that I am always open to making improvements on, and making better and bigger. That's been the whole thing about it, is making bigger and better. So that's kind of how we got here tonight. Is now we're having this word about it in the third year of this event. So
so you mentioned that you might go longer. Why would you go longer? What would it be that would possess you to say the amount of time we have isn't enough? We're going to go further. We're going to go longer.
Well, I don't know if it's just pure insanity or the one need to keep going, but we are going to be doing. We have once we reach certain goals, every $250 we raise meets a goal in that sense. And if we get to I'm looking at my goals now, 1250. That will extend that by 24 hours in that case, and that will extend it longer. And some other kind of interesting goals we reach. There's one where I'll actually sleep on stream, which I really don't like doing, but I will do it for charity for sure. And then there's one where we do like a Jackbox stream one day where we do like a hot ones take, where I do progressively hotter hot wings through the night. Which if you've been part of that, the top goal that we reach at 3,000, which is the top goal. We got some stretch goals beyond that, but if we hit the top goal, this whole thing is coming off.
That comes off.
That comes off. This thing right here. And Sheza just in chat as well just mentioned something. Last year we did something big. I got a tattoo for my very first tattoo as a part of hitting the top goal last time, and it was an emote of a we call it a pooch on our side, but many people have interpreted several things. But it's an emote that means a lot to the community as well. So I got it on my backpack here. I can't show it because I don't want to, make anybody uncomfortable. But it's on my back here. And,
so there's going to be some goals. So I've done for Save and Raid. I've colored my hair where they've gotten to certain goals.
Mm-hmm.
I've offered to shave off all of my hair if they get to certain goals.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully,
I don't think that's a problem with me, at least.
Yeah,
No.
so last year they didn't get to that. So then this year I was like, well, I'm not going to tempt fate. So I've got a couple goals that I'll share with you, Chris, that if it helps the cause, I'm happy to do it. My wife won't let me get any more tattoos. I got one years ago, and that's the limit.
Yeah, that's about for me
so,
too. So
so there's
I don't even have any, so
well, there you go. There's some goals.
I want one, but I haven't gotten the courage to get it yet. So
And so I'll come up with a couple goals that might be useful and helpful that I'm willing to chat about and maybe be a part, and let me figure out what they are that won't get me in trouble with anybody that that I don't need to get in trouble with. So
sounds good.
So I think what we want to do is we kind of start bringing this all together and kind of bringing this to a close a little bit here. But, I'm, in the work that I do. So, I've been in the nonprofit world for 14 or 15 years. I've had the opportunity to lead 2 other nonprofits, and prior to that, I spent about 35 years of my life in local, state, and national government and politics and public policy. And one of the things I'm struck by today, we live in a world where the past Surgeon General talked about this crises of loneliness, right?
Mm-hmm.
This idea that regardless of how connected we may be through technology, that we still are in a period where there is this kind of sense of loneliness and disconnected from one another.
Mm-hmm.
And I think events like this offer us an opportunity to reconnect. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about that concept of loneliness, and how do you see that in this streaming world and community? And do you think that this provides that opportunity to address what really truly is? We have something called the social determinants of health. I don't know if you've heard of what that is.
I've heard of this, yes.
Yeah. So social determinants of health are things like, your access to health care, whether it's physical or mental care, your access to a job, your economic well-being, do you have finances? Do you have housing? Do you have shelter?
Yeah.
But it's also this connectedness, right? Community, and this idea of being connected to one another. And those social determinants of health have a significant impact on suicidal ideation and suicide, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so how if you think about loneliness as a crisis, how important of a tool is this event for you and for others that and how important is this online community to dealing with what the Surgeon General has called this crisis of loneliness? And anybody can jump in on this, obviously.
I will put it in one word: vital. It is extremely vital to have this sort of community for me. Like, I always talk about how this community is always come together. It's really cool to hang out with all these people and everything, but I don't think the community itself knows how much they mean to me personally, and how much that their presence themselves helps me in dealing with my struggles. Not I get on stream and we put on a good face and I'm entertaining and we're having fun and doing all this. That's not to say that I don't deal with struggles on a daily basis. I do. I have a lot to do, and sometimes I'm even open about it on stream. Even so, but it's I think especially, I think everybody knows this, but 2020 was a wake up call in a lot of sense in this area. It's like when everyone is shut down and isolated, and the call was for people to be individualized and isolated and quarantined. There was some, that was the avenue for streaming services to sort of be even more important than they are now. And I have to say that, I mean, even though we weren't streaming at that time, I would have liked to see what the stream would have done if we were in that time. But either way, I'm extremely thankful for this community, and I'm extremely thankful for every single person who puts a contribution into it and making it better and whatever, whether that's, financial, or even if it's just playing the game or having the conversation, or even any of those who moderate for the channel as well. They're all vital to this community, and I super appreciate having each one of them and knowing each one of them as well.
Yeah, I think Too Slow said it best. It's vital that for this group to be together because yeah.
Absolutely. And people will say, it's like, you can join in the community and you can do whatever, you can hang out, you can chill, you can play. But I think, again, the important thing that we drive home is community is just not a buzzword to us. It is something that we take seriously, and we want everybody to feel welcome. So, and this event sort of helps kind of solidify that in a lot of ways, and showing that, as again, talking about how the suicide is something that doesn't just impact one person. It impacts multiple people, and it impacts more people than you actually think.
Yep.
And that's why it is super entertaining, and to do these kind of streams, and I really enjoy it. Enjoy bringing the streams, and enjoy holding these events to bring the awareness forward, because it is, I mean, again, I keep using the word vital, but it absolutely is. To do so.
So Galaxy shares that, again, the community never fails to stop the loneliness and always feels welcome, and says Too Slow puts the community and community streaming more than he puts the streamer. So that's high praise, right? So so I obviously I want to thank all of you for your willingness to be on here tonight, but I really want to thank you for your commitment and willingness to have these conversations. It is so, use your word, Chris, it's so vitally important that we do that in the time and place where I think people may feel anxious, where there's change that's going on here in this country and change going on in the world, right? That being able to talk to one another, whether it's IRL, whether it's on a stream, right? Critically important. And the work that we do at SAVE, we can't be very successful with what we do if we're not successful at getting people to have a conversation and being willing to talk about it. The reality is that, for any impact that we're going to have as a suicide prevention organization, starts with a conversation, starts with a discussion, starts with the willingness and capacity of people to care about one another enough to ask the question and be prepared. If you get an answer that somebody says, I'm thinking about hurting myself, I'm thinking about suicide, give them the ability to be able to go find that help. We'll talk more about One Step Ahead during the stream event. We'll make sure that that is available to people so that they can go on SAVE's website and they can sign up for that. And they can take that. They can take that 40-minute streaming or 40-minute online training. It's easy to do, free. It's something that you can share out with everybody in your community. And so I'm looking forward to this event. I'm really looking forward to the fact that I don't have to learn how to play anything. That I can, right? That I can.
Oh, we may join you in a Jackbox game. Who knows? We'll get you in a
So I can follow in Chris's footstep of not being that gamer, and still be somewhat successful here. I want to thank everybody that watched tonight. I want to thank our guests here this evening, Hipster Stole My Beer, Galaxy, and our good friend Psychic Buckeye, and Too Slow, Too Serious. Look for this event on April 9th at Twitch TV on Too Slow, Too Serious TV. It's free. You can come sign up, hang out, watch, get as involved as you want to get. Starts at 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you just want to sit back and see what's going on, that's all you got to do. There'll be more information during the event about how you can donate and how you can get involved if that's something you want to do. And in the meantime, if there's anything that we can help anybody with, don't hesitate to reach out to us at save.org. Happy to talk to you, answer any questions you might have. We've got some resources on that website that are free and available to folks. So, Chris, any parting words?
I want to thank you, Eric, for kind of opening your arms and helping help as much as you have so far. And I'm really excited about this event. And it's amazing what me just going onto the site and putting in a little contact form saying, hey, what can you do to help us out has turned into. And I simply appreciate everything that SAVE has done so far for not just this event, but for their cause and what this has meant for us. So really looking forward to making some moments in the stream, and it's gonna be a lot of fun, and hopefully we get a good message out. So
I'm going to come up with some goals. So everybody stand by, be ready. We'll find out what they are. We'll see if that triggers somebody to say, I'm going to give $1 million if Eric does X. So we'll see
That'd be
what
great.
that is. All right.
Be great.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. We'll be in touch soon.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
having
Good
us
night,
here.
guys. See you soon.
Good night.
Good night.